all the fear down. Get it out your system.
Okay.
Get it out your system. It will hold you back. It will hinder you from achieving your dreams.
All right, welcome to another episode of the Practical Wealth Show. So, is it still a good time to invest in real estate? That is the question in everybody's mind. With as we record this, interest rates are high, and there are a lot of people sitting on the sideline. And so, I heard this topic last week with our guest today, Camille Pearsall'ss, and she spoke at Wire, Women in Real Estate, here near Philadelphia, and I've known her, but I actually never saw her speak before. Which is I never saw you speak before, so I didn't know your story or anything. So I was like, oh, I got to get her on the show, y'all, because guys, success leaves clues. Okay, and she has a very varied background. So I'm going to read a little bit of her bio because it's quite long, and because she's done a lot of stuff, and then I'm going to let her tell the rest of her story herself. All right. So so she's the co-founder. She's a general contractor of a construction environmental testing company, Stoner Renovations and Construction. She's the CEO and co-founder of a business consulting management firm, Legacy Builders Management and Consulting. And she's the co-founder, CEO of a real estate investment firm. Okay. And she's also, and this is how I really was introduced to her. We're part of the same real estate investment group called Better Than Success. And she's also real estate executive success coach there. Okay. So that was my first introduction. So so here's a story. I'm going to start this story. I'm going to let you finish it. Right. So Camille's story is one of that is full of resiliency, determination, and love. Okay. And Camille overcame countless soul-shifting obstacles to start from being abandoned by her mother at age 2, teenage pregnancy, and becoming a widow and a gun victim to gun violence at age 34. Wow. And so she was raised by a single father. But the interesting thing is, where we have in common, both our parents were self-employed, right? So I always tell people, Camille, I never got that go get a good job talk, and my dad always told me never making money work for somebody else. So I thought that's what you're supposed to do. And so I want you to tell them about, starting from there, a little bit of what you want them to know, your background of being on construction sites since what, age 6?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
probably
maybe younger, right?
Yeah.
And maybe around the age I started playing basketball, which is 4, right? So
exactly.
And so tell them about yourself. Tell them what I didn't tell them, and let's help these people get their real estate portfolio on.
So thank you, Curtis, for having me, sharing your platform with me. I really appreciate it. I've been in real estate. I didn't even realize I was in real estate because I was in construction, which is a major part of real estate and building your portfolio. You want to have a great and knowledgeable success contracting team. So I've been doing this in real estate before I even thought I got into real estate, which was 2016. And that's when my life came full circle for me. Like you mentioned, my dad was a single father. He was a general contractor. So I was on a construction site forever, probably since I was like fully potty trained. I was on a construction site. By the time I was before I was double digits, I was given ideas and insights to design layouts, and well, that doesn't look right. And I quite maybe didn't know the language or understanding of, but my eye caught it to say, that doesn't look right. Is this finished? Are you kidding me? At a very early age. And it came full circle. I did a lot of things to get away from construction. I was a hairstylist. I traveled doing hair. I opened up, and again, like you said, that self-employed mindset.
Right.
I had a concierge hairstyling business in the early 2000s before that was even a thing. I was offering concierge services, and I understood how to identify niches in different areas of your expertise where other people is not doing it. People will pay for convenience. We all know in this DoorDash, Instacart era, people will pay for convenience. Everybody wants to have a luxurious bill. So just taking all these things and in mind. That's kind of how I was able to form one of my outlooks on real estate
Mm-hmm.
that I use for my RNC legacy portfolio building. There, I give luxury like properties to low income families.
Okay. Okay.
And that goes again back to my childhood where a lot of my friends, I come from home ownership.
Mm-hmm.
My grandmother owned her home, my father owned his home. So that's what I knew and I understood. And thought everybody owned their home. And I'm from North Philly. This is, in North Philly.
Right.
And my family members owned their home. And, we had the family
Me
house.
too. Just for the record, me too. You're Philly. Oh.
Exactly. But I didn't know that my friends didn't own their house
Right.
until I would go look at, different things. So my dad look at estimates. And one day he said, well, why don't you get your landlord to do that? And the landlord don't do nothing. And, that started my wheels turning at a very tender age.
Mm-hmm.
What is a landlord? What are their responsibilities? And why aren't they upkeeping them in our community?
Right.
Why do people come to my home and think where I felt like I lived, very, meager beginnings? It wasn't the Cosby Show. It wasn't what I saw on television.
Mm-hmm.
People always come to our home and be very impressed. And it was just, to me, it was regular.
Right. Right.
We had fresh paint, we had mirrors, we had nice light fixtures, that type of stuff.
Right. Right.
It was nothing, like I said, it wasn't the Cosby Show. It was no stars and glitz, but it was just very, very nice, very comfortable, very safe. And as I learned about, just what a landlord was, becoming one, I decided this is something that I'm interested in.
Mm-hmm.
So after I stopped
How
doing
were
hair,
you? Let me stop there. How were you? And so you were in your hair business.
correct.
Okay. All right. Keep going.
I was doing hair. I got pregnant. My husband had just started working with my dad in construction. So, it's virtually no benefits there.
Mm-hmm.
Got married, like, "Hey, we need benefits. What can we do?" It was never in my spirit to work for someone else.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
never sat right with me. But I was like, okay, we need benefits. So at that point, I started driving a school bus. That's what I did next.
Okay.
It was part-time work. I'm like, okay, I could still do this and, continue to service my clients. But that became too taxing with being a mother and a wife.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, wait, this isn't working. I got to figure something else out. I then went into the correction field. In that field, I stayed there for 15 years.
Really? Okay. Okay.
I
Like
did
at a prison.
at a prison.
Really? Okay.
When people meet me and play the game, like pick my careers. What did I do?
Right. Right.
And never pick a correctional professional. Like never, not ever. And I say a correctional professional because I did so many things in that realm of construction.
Right.
Of corrections. I started as a correctional officer. Then I went into the community and I opened up programs for returning citizens. I taught GED. I taught reentry, became a supervisor. When I left, I was the commanding officer of training for the training department. Training department.
Okay.
Yeah. So it came kind of full circle back to everything that I'm doing. And I share all this to tell everybody, everything that you do in your life leads up to your moment. It's been put in your path for a reason. Whether you think it was a good experience, a negative experience, whatever it may be, is leading up to you becoming the best you that you can be. It's giving you so many tools in that toolbox.
Because you're always moving forward. Always activity produces knowledge. Is what I always tell people. Knowledge does not produce activity. So, you've got to work and, you're just honing different skills.
Mm-hmm.
And then, success is where opportunity meets with preparation,
There you go.
And one of the things that, Camille, we tell people in our, when I'm working with clients is that investing, because this is your road to becoming. I always tell people it's about becoming something.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily about buying something. You have to become a real estate investor. You have to become. And the challenge is, even since I'll see people like BTS we meeting every week, they like the idea of it, but they don't really want to become sometimes.
Exactly.
Like
they don't want to. They don't want to go through that developing phase.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It is hard, but it's worth it.
It's easier than being broke, though. Right?
Yeah.
So pick your heart, right?
There you go. Pick your, because they're both hard.
Right,
they're both hard.
Right.
You could work really, really hard and put a lot of time and a lot of effort to becoming who you want to be, to living a comfortable life, or you could just, be like you said, be broke and sit there, and that's gonna be hard too.
Right. And when I say broke, I don't mean poor. I mean broke. Like you can be broke at 200 grand.
Correct.
I got clients that make 200, they spend 210. So they're
There you
broke.
go.
They're a
And
higher
that's
level of
something that
broke.
goes over people's heads too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that goes right over their head. If you
Poverty is a
are,
mentality. I can't
yeah,
help you. The poor, the Bible
you
says
can't
poor
help it.
always
If
be
you
among
have
us.
the need
Yeah.
to create a lifestyle that's beyond your means, then you'll never get through what we're going through right now.
Right. Right.
Like you just
So you
want.
can expand your means.
There you
So,
go. So you can
and
continue
so
to
that's, see, what I want you to hear, guys, because it doesn't matter where you start from. It's you got to have a vision of what you want to become, a vision of what you see for your life. And everybody that we interview, they similar stories. They got
mhm,
tired of something. Okay. And they decided for me, it was I read this little purple book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. And I realized, in the financial space, what he was talking about and what I was doing with people wasn't the same. And I like this way better. And that changed the whole direction of my career. So it's like, you don't know what it's going to be. So,
exactly. You don't know. But take everything from every experience. Every experience I went through professionally or
mhm,
even as a small business owner, entrepreneur, I took that with me and I brought it with me now to my real estate journey. And I still don't think I'm done yet
right,
at all. I feel like this is just another piece that's going to add to my ultimate,
right.
whatever it may be.
So let's talk about, I want to back into the beginning, but I want to start here because this is what, so you were on it. It was like a panel you were on. And one of the questions was, this is where I want to start was, is it, in the market with the interest rates, is it still a good time to buy? So let's address that, because there's a lot of people wondering, they're sitting on the sideline. Should I start? Is this a good time to do it? What say you?
I think there is no better time to start than right now.
Okay.
Literally, there is no better time to start than right now. We make money as real estate investors with the buy. We don't make money on the sell. We don't make money on the rehab. We make money on the buy. So if you're buying right according to what's going on in that current market, you're
Mm-hmm.
going to be fine. Like literally, you're going to be fine. Some key indicators and factors you have to remember when buying right now is interest rates are high.
Mm-hmm.
There's, the intent of the Fed is for them to go down a little bit this year. We've seen them drop a hair or two. It's supposed to go down a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say that doesn't happen, or let's say they do drop and then they go back up.
Right.
You're looking to be in a deal. Let's just say you're doing your average split. You're going to be in it from anywhere from 3 to 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
That's on average, depending on the grade of upgrades you have to do to it, 3 to 12 months. We don't know what it's going to be at the end of that 12 months. So we go in and so we say, okay, at the end of this 12 months, this is what our buyers are going to be facing. They're going to be facing 10% interest rates.
Okay.
I
Yep.
doubt if we'll see interest rates higher than that. If so, not much higher. But if we can look at it and we can be very conservative and stress test our deals at 10% and say, okay, and develop your ARV at 10%, or even if it's going to be a hold, your refi numbers at 10%, your rent roll at a 10% interest rate, then if it comes back and when it's time, we're in a 6% interest rate climate,
Mm-hmm.
you winning. You really win. If you
Right.
were winning at 10%, then at 6%, I don't even know. It's what's beyond winning. You like Kobe,
Yeah.
LeBron, or somebody
Yeah.
in the industry. So we want to stress test our deals and analyze them at the highest point, not the best point. Never look at the best because the best can change so rapidly. Then what? If that's the only numbers you based your deal on was the best, then you're going to be butt out if the worst was to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And as COVID taught us, we never know when that can be.
That's right.
Yeah, we
And
never know.
so let me, it's actually pretty simple, but so stress testing what she's saying, guys. So experienced people, I think you understand it, but you're going to run your deals as if like, if the rate was this would be the payment, and this is how much your rent needs to be.
Correct.
to make it a profitable deal. And if it works at 10%, and if your payments lower at financing at 6%, then you have even a better deal. But it's got to work at that, because if it works at do people do that? I hadn't really heard people articulate that till I heard you say that.
So I would really hope that people do that. I offer one-on-one consulting, small groups consulting for people, and that's something that I put a lot of emphasis on, just because people don't talk about it. We'll hear so many things. We'll hear the highlights when you look at, social media, YouTube. You hear the highlights of things that's going on, but I don't know if they're really, really teaching people how to get to the highlight of it all. And that's what, even I said, better than success, that's something that we're big on the education of it, showing you how to get there, how to handle it. Like I said, also within Legacy Builders, my consulting firm. That's what we do one-on-one. Every Tuesday at 1:00, I host the analysis for better than success members. And I do plenty of calls, consultations, and walkthroughs on people's properties before they even buy it, before the EMD deal. Call me, I'll come out with you, and we'll really walk through that project, and I'll show you how to stress test it. I'll show you the old crack issues that the property could potentially hold. A lot of people, when they're going over the budgets, they're creating budgets for these rehabs. They're going, okay, we're just going to paint, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Okay, how long has this property been vacant? What does the sewer line look like? Is it a lead water line coming in? These are the old crap moments that people come into when they're dead in the middle of the project, already went over budget on something frivolous, but they don't have the necessities that the property needs.
Right.
So that's why it's important when you're stress testing. If you don't know how to do it, then you want to have a network around you of people who do and can assist you and work with you until you get to that point where it's like second nature for you. So, okay, well, let me check this off. Let me check that off. Let's try to avoid these old crap moments. And that big old crap moment is at the end when you analyze your deal at the interest rates being 7%, but now they're 10%.
Right.
I want to try to really avoid that.
Numbers tell a story. So, folks, financial literacy is accounting. So, doing a pro forma of what she's talking about, or having a checklist where you're looking at stuff, that's the stuff. Because, see, would you say that, what's that saying from the movie? You got to kiss a lot of frogs to find a prince. So, you got to look at a lot of deals. I mean, if you don't look at the buy the first deal you look at, or marry the first person you kiss, to to keep the analogy going. But the I'm silly. You just really get to know me. You just met me. So because do you think one of the times I think that I found people don't shop, they don't look at enough stuff to really have a feel for the marketplace. Tell me why you feel that's important.
That's
how many is enough? How many should they be looking at? Is there you have a number?
So I can't say a number of what you should be looking at. I met a young lady yesterday, and she said she had looked at 15 properties, and she was this one, and I felt like she was settling. If you looked at 15 to find this one, then that means you probably need to multiply that by 15 to find the one that's right for you. There is really no number. But I tell people, when you're preparing, when you're getting your money together that you need to go into a deal, when you're waiting to find that optimum deal, this is the time that you just go out, go to open houses, look on your MLS, find a real estate agent friend or a wholesaler friend. See, can you shadow them? Tell that agent, listen, I'm not necessarily buying today, but I could pay you for your time just because I want to go see some properties, just to get an idea of what you have a stomach for. Try to walk other people projects that are in the middle of stuff so you could determine, do you want to do a full gut? Are you looking for a lipstick? For anyone that doesn't know what a lipstick is, or if you hear me refer to that, that's a property that needs little to no work. I classify a lipstick as painting, floors, and one mechanical. Anything more than one mechanical to me is no longer a lipstick rehab. You want to always do a roof. I did, I think, a story today on my Instagram, just highlighting that how much, how important it is that a new roof or roof repair should be on every scope of work, every pro forma. You have to include that roof when you're addressing that roof, because we have to, in any water penetrating areas, you have to make sure those things are not done. But you could look at literally 60 properties before you find that one that's right for you. But you're not going to really know what's right for you unless you know or are privy to examples of different things. So that's why it's important to get out there and just start walking projects. When I first started, I would
Mm-hmm.
go out with Jabbar all the time. Jabbar is a
Mm-hmm.
wholesaler within our network. Literally, Jabbar, where we going today? And I will go, and Jabbar easy. I'll buy him lunch. I'll
Right.
drive.
Right.
And just be out there, just doing what he's doing his regular day to day. And I'm getting my eyes. I was getting my eyes on projects. I was hearing what the contractors had to say. I was hearing what the seasoned investors had to say about the property, why they thought it was a good deal, why they thought it wasn't. And I took all of that in with my other knowledge that I was gaining through reading, through podcasts, through speaking with people like you, Curtis. And I put it all together and I figured out what was right for me at the moment.
Right. So your criteria, like I know people, I was at an event this weekend with Dan Harvey. So Dan, one time I sent him I had a client messing up with some prop. I said, hey, I got this person. It's what was it? It was a mixed use with a restaurant on the bottom and two
Okay.
stories of stuff. He's like, but it was in Colony, and he didn't want to. I only invest in West Philly. For example. So
Yeah,
you got to know
exactly. Dan only likes West Philly.
Yeah.
He likes his area. For me, I don't like South Philly unless it's a flip, and it got to be a big flip.
Okay.
Southwest, even though Southwest is rising, I traditionally won't go to Southwest. It takes too long for me to get there. Primarily, all of my projects are in North Philly, West Philly, and Uptown. So
Okay.
anything in those areas where I invest, even for me taking on GC clients, I'll work in this area because it fits me. It fits my day-to-day lifestyle. It doesn't bring me any stress. Believe me, real estate will give you enough stress alone. It's not for the weak by any means. You got to have a good stomach, all of that stuff. So with everything that's going to happen, you want to at least make sure that things are comfortable to you and your lifestyle. Driving all the way to Southwest Philly by the airport every day, twice a day, is not comfortable or cohesive to my lifestyle. So I don't invest out there. And this is something I found riding around with Jabbar. Oh my God, this is too far. This is too much. I was like, no, I don't go to Southwest. When people say, what kind of deals do you like? Good ones that are not in Southwest.
Okay. Yeah.
So you have to find what works for you.
It's a lifestyle thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like just the way you described it. I know I like lipstick. Big deal.
Okay.
So that's going to limit the market because I'm lazy, and even the lipstick I ain't going to do because I'm unhandy, right? So I do this. I told my wife when we got married, I'm unhandy. You're marrying me for my looks. I don't know how to fix anything. So just so you know, but she chose wisely. No,
there you go.
But so talk to me about. So there's several types people that listen to this, right? And I know that you get these people as a coach, within BTS. So I'm new, I'm working, and I want to get away from my job. That's like the running story. And then the other person's, I've got 3 doors, but I want to scale. I want to get to the next level. So talk to me about how you would I'm sorry to put you on a spot like this, how you would consult those people.
So for the new person, we have somebody that's new to real estate, and they want to leave their job.
Yes.
So they have to really determine, and you kind of have to back into this. You have to determine how much money do you need to make per month to live the lifestyle that you are comfortable with. Meaning, like, you have to literally factor everything in. You have to factor in your mortgage, all your utilities, your car note, your car repairs, your home repairs, your traveling, your Uber Eats, your lunch money, your kids' trip money. You have to factor all this in and say what it is monthly.
Okay. Yeah.
So let's just say you need to make $10,000 a month, right? You get to say, okay, how many doors do I need to have to make $10,000 a month? It's not how much, it's not the gross that you're looking at. You have to look at what you're netting.
Right. After you pay the mortgage,
after you pay the mortgage, after you pay utilities, after you put money up for your reserves, after all of that. On average, in this market in Philadelphia, you're going to net anywhere from $300 to $700 per door. That's on average. Some people do much better than that because then you make your money on the buy. So if you purchase really, really low, then you're going to do much better. If you purchase too high, you might be making a little bit less. For me, I'm not interested in anything less than like $350, $400 a door. That's something else that you have to, and that's for both scenarios of the investor. You have to determine what do you want per door. For me, anything less than $350, $400, I'm not really. It's like $400. I'm definitely not interested in it. But let's say, okay, you need $10,000. You're netting anywhere from $300 to $700 per door. How many doors is that you need? It sounds like it's about anywhere from 10 to 20 doors.
Right.
Before you're bringing in that per month. So now you have to say, okay, how do you get on track to acquire these doors, renovate it, rent it out?
I would add other step to that. This is what I try to help people do. And you'd be surprised.
And finding other ways to bring them money and make your money grow too.
Well, no. I mean, just from that, like, so what I try to get people to look at is so it's because I'm the anti-stock financial advisor, right? The anti-Wall Street financial advisor. So I want you to think of it from using real estate as an asset class, because I want to emphasize, guys, we emphasize cash flow, right? So, but you got to put a time frame on it. So I want to be out the rat race in 3 years.
Okay.
In 5 years. So now you got to get 20 doors in 36 months. You got to get 20 doors in 60 months. So now you got to get.
You're adding that time factor.
Right.
And that is very true. And I agree with you. But a lot of people, when you put that time crunch on them, they start sweating profusely and their hearts start racing.
Okay. All right.
And they do go through
I like putting that pressure on people though, but okay, that's right. See, because what I'll do is so I always tell people, look, you're in our relationship. Let's say we work with somebody. You're the offensive coordinator. You're going to help them do that. But I'm the defensive coordinator. I'm going to make sure they don't lose. I'm going to make sure they manage cash flow. I make sure they saving money, right? And so, I'm here because there's 3 skills to money: make it, keep it, grow it. So you're helping them make it. My job is to make sure they keep it, and then just kind of hold them accountable to their numbers. So I'm gonna beat you over the head with your goals, right? So what you do every quarter, like, so I give people, all right, what's the 3-year goal, the 5-year goal, and then, all right, what's a 1-year target with 90-day check-ins, with 90-day objectives? Because they procrastinate.
People will procrastinate. I procrastinate. It's human nature. Because again, we get lazy, especially that person that's working that W-2. They tired. They done worked all day for whatever corporation that they work for. They're tired and they still have family and they still want to have a social life. So you're tired. We tend to put these things that's not A until I every day to the side.
Yeah.
The way I did it, I started in real estate 2016. I didn't make a penny, not one penny, until 2020. I said I was like 60 grand in a hole in real estate, just through learning, investing, losing, whatever the case may be, before 2020. I left my job. So I sold my first flip September 2020. I left my job January 26, 2021.
Okay.
So that was my timeline. I really gave myself 2 more years. I planned on staying at my job till I was 40. That was the timeline I put over myself. Like, okay, I'm going to be 40 when I leave here. And then I backed into my number I needed. And for me, I was conservative. So I said, okay, just acquiring doors wasn't enough. What else do I need to do? I need to scale in some other areas. I need to scale my construction business. I need to scale my consultant business because I have a huge knowledge and I'm great at making people aware and educating them. So I need to scale in that area too to help me get to that point. Like I said, I didn't plan on doing it until I was 40 because I wanted to use that W-2. A W-2 will make your life so much easier in lending. When you're out here borrowing and you're growing quickly,
right,
that W-2 adds to it. But for me, God said, no, you're not waiting until you're 40. You out of here at 36. And it was like, okay. So I came out 4 years early, but because, like you said, I was able to grow. And for me, my concept of legacy builders management consultant is we help people define, create, maintain, and transfer wealth.
Okay.
I defined it back in 2016.
Okay.
At that point, I started creating it. And it was, it was continuous. So now I'm maintaining. but it was the idea, okay, how do I create this money for me to get out of here? And part of that creating while maintaining what I already created, I no longer had the time or the tolerance to give to my W-2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
And so I had to jump out because I saw like, okay, I can't get any higher than where I'm at. I can't get any higher. I had to jump out in faith and my own will to do it. And that kind of rose me into the other scenario. The person with like the 3 properties.
Mm-hmm.
What's next?
Mm-hmm.
You've acquired a couple properties, and their goal was to leave their job too, right?
Yes.
You acquired a couple properties, you sitting here. What do you do next? Now you have to look, okay, you're doing single families. How can you escalate this to go faster, to go harder? You can gain some knowledge, I will hope, through acquiring these 3 properties. You're learning how to manage, you're learning the business of the business. You should know a little bit about managing your tenants. You should know these things. So now what barriers do you have? A lot of barriers that people will have is access to cash
Yes.
to get to that next level.
Mm-hmm.
You have to figure out how can you access that cash. Do you bet on yourself because you have a job and tap into your pension? Do you tap into your 401k, your retirement plan? Do you tap into these things for cash? Do you get a personal loan? What type of combinations can you do? You have to really sit down. Now, this is when you stress test your life and see what can you handle for betting on yourself to make that cash available. Do you pull in partners? What can you do? Once you identify that, then you go for it. And you don't stop until you get there because you already did the slow walk through it. You acquire these 3 properties, you're managing them, you have an understanding. You did the slow walk, you did the crawl. Now it's time to run. And that's where definitely that time, like, all right, you have to do this. You're giving yourself X amount of time, 2 years, 3 years to do this. Like I said, the every 90-day check-in is the accountability.
Right.
Find somebody to help you become accountable and to hold you to that. Because
Right.
it's easy to make goals.
Right.
It's easy to make them. But now who's holding you accountable to sticking to them and achieving them? That's the really important part.
How important is and I say this because you're a coach in a thing that this is where we met, is a community. And
Wow.
as part of that, being in an environment that will support you, because normal people don't understand what you're trying to do.
They don't understand. They don't get it. And it's funny, you started off this segment with you didn't come from the just get a good job. I came from that. I told you my dad raised me. His mother, my grandma was instrumental in my life. And she was like a seamstress. And she came from a family where there were a lot of domestic workers.
Right.
Our family was big domestic workers. And so she was a seamstress and she was in the union and, she lived a pretty comfortable life.
That was my grandmother. My grandmother was like that, in the union, seamstress. Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah. She did day work before that. But
there
they
you
call
go.
it day work.
Yep.
If y'all
day domestic work.
Right. That was day work. Right. Or you stayed there, but she was a day worker. So yeah.
There you go. So that was very comfortable for her. So her philosophy for me was just get a good government job. Once I was like, yeah, college is not for me. I'm done. I'm over it. Just get a good government job. You'll be okay. I had a good government job. I did. I had a good government job with unlimited overtime. Unlimited overtime. And a pension. But for me, that wasn't enough. It was not enough. And it came back to, okay, what's next? What else can I do? We have to get rid of those comforts. We have to pull those anchors back up. You have to. If not, you'll stay there.
Right.
Because I could have stayed working in that jail forever. I sat behind a desk and, I helped execute policy. And I thought of just new ways and creative ways to execute policy. And I could have went in the jail and I could have made $200,000 a year. But guess what? I would have been there 16 hours a day. We only have 24. When am I seeing my family? When am I traveling? When am I going to the grocery store? When am I eating right? When am I exercising? We lose so many things getting caught in that mindset of just get a good job. So when you're able to bet on yourself and get out there and execute your own plan, people are going to look at you like you're bizarre, like you got 10 heads. Why would you walk away from this? You're living the life.
Right.
Only people who live and breathe this every day can resonate with why. They're going to be your champions. They're going to cheer you on. When it's going great, they're going to hype you up. When it's not going so great, they're going to lift you up. They could talk a language that your family won't understand, that your friends you grew up with won't understand, that your coworkers won't understand. You can have a conversation with somebody, and when I have conversations with my friends, my real estate friends, we talking about $100,000 or more.
Right.
Like I could place or $100,000 or more.
Right. That's right.
The average person, if you have this conversation with them, they're going to think you're bragging and boosting and boasting, and now they're going to have a different outlook at you. They want to make you feel like, well, if you have to do all that, then why do it? You can stay there and make that money if you have to do all that. But yeah, I'm figuring out I have $100,000 problem because now it's going to increase my net worth by $500,000.
Right. Right.
That doesn't translate to people who are not of this community.
Right. You got to get yourself around, because I
I
call them civilians, right? You can't hang around.
You can't. They don't understand.
And they don't understand it. And you're not, so I remember I was, one time I was at a BTS, so we know Art, right? So Art had said, look, I just did this. We were talking about that one day after drinking water and eating pretzels after the meeting, right? And it's an inside joke and he's, I said, did this deal, this wholesale deal or something. He made like 75 grand. And so, and we were talking, you couldn't say that to regular people.
You cannot.
Right. And so if you say that to me, my first thought is, well, how many of those can you do a month? Or can you do that again next month? Like I'm going to, how do you keep that train going? Right. Because, and that's where you want to get around people that will stretch you, that will, okay, is that all you want?
Absolutely.
And I used to be in a group where, you would get a ring when you made $100,000 a year, and the guy that was, giving out the awards was making like $2 million.
Wow.
And if he only made $8 grand a month, he'd jump out a window, right? And and he was like, "All right, are you all right? Do you need here's $20? You need some money?" Like he wanted you to understand that, you just got to the point where maybe you could hire some help. And start to be in business, right? Because you still ain't making no money yet. And that's it's a start. You got to have something to shoot for.
You do.
You got to get around people where, okay, that's not, I always try to get in the rooms, Camille, where I'm the dumbest person there or the poorest person there, and you got to spend money to be in those rooms, but you can't stretch your own vision.
You cannot.
And you got to get, you got to stretch your own vision. So, Camille, what didn't I ask you that I should ask you that you want to make sure you get out in this conversation? Anything?
The importance of starting now, maybe. Did we talk about that?
Let's talk about that. Starting now. You said it's always a good time to start, but
yeah, it's so important to start right now, not 5 minutes from now, like right now. Like as soon as you get done watching this, I'm gonna give you some action items. Follow me on social media, Legacy Builders MC. That's across all social media platforms, but I'm heavy on Instagram. Follow Better Than Success. I'm certain follow them on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is awesome. I'm certain you're already following Curtis. Another thing I want you to do is join BTS. That will give you your network. You're going to get like everything all in one when you join Better Than Success. You're going to get your network of people who understand this language. And we have everybody from the very, very beginners to people that's just above the top, and they're here just to spread their knowledge on us. Like if they never buy another piece of real estate in their life, they are comfortable, their children are comfortable, their children are comfortable, and their children are comfortable as well.
Right.
We have that there. Our back office is so robust. It's over 600 hours of just knowledge.
I'm in there for about 6. I know.
Yeah, exactly. Talking about like 6 different things.
Maybe 7 if she recorded the meeting that wasn't supposed to be there at Wire.
Because you wasn't supposed to do that at Wire. Only men that presented at Wire, y'all. Only men. Like on the spot. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And we also have our AI mentor that is, if you take the test, it's going to guide you, let you know where you are, like realistically, where you are in your investing career.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll point you to the different things that you need to do in the back office.
Mm-hmm.
Use my code Camille. It's my name, CAMILLE. That will always get you a discount. Contact me, DM me if you have any questions or whatever the case may be. You want to act now. And also, I'm a Better Than Success member and I love Better Than Success, but I'm going to give you another good action item. Jumpstart Phylli. Jumpstart is an amazing program. It's the foundation of basically becoming an investor, whether you want to hold, whether you want to flip. You want to go there. And I always try to tell people, because we all know that, joining networks and clubs can be very expensive. Can be. Better Than Success is not cheap at all. It's worth every penny. It's worth beyond every penny. Like literally, this could be $1,000 a month lead, but it's not. But
Right.
it very well could be. It's not. It's not. It very well could be for everything that you get. But Jumpstart Phylli, for people that if you're thinking like, is this what I want to do? And you don't want to necessarily make the commitment to join Better Than Success yet. I don't beat anybody over the head selling anything, because we are who we are. We can stand up in any crowd and be us, and we're going to always stand out. So I never feel the need to overbeat somebody in the head. But while you're learning, you're deciding to take advantage of everything that's really free or really low cost. I think Jumpstart, I'm not sure exactly what the program is, but I know it's definitely under $300.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely under $300.
And let me add this, because we're both in Philly, but we've got people that are natural, but there's probably, and if you're especially in a big city, there's probably something similar to that.
Yeah.
BTS is national.
BTS is national. Like literally, we have an event in the latest weekend.
Wow. See, there you go. And see, so it'll wherever you are, the people that she interviews, it doesn't really matter where you are. When I say she, Nicole, or the coaches, or it's because it's the coaches, it's not just Nikki, right? Okay, right. The executives. Yes. Doing different stuff. That was the whole point. So she'd have to do them all. Right. So,
there you
go. All right. So we got your contact information. We're gonna put all that in the show notes.
Okay.
So that you can reach out with her codes, so you can save some money. And what else? I'm trying to think of something else I wanted to ask you, but I can't remember.
Fear. Well, no, let's talk about fear real quick.
Fear. Okay, yeah.
Get rid of it. Run to the bathroom right now, throw it in the toilet, and flush. Flush twice. Get it all down. Get all the fear down. Get it out your system.
Okay.
Get it out your system. It will hold you back. It will hinder you from achieving your dream. I was fearful of leaving my job before I was 40, because that was the parameter that I put on myself. And I said, I had to be able to do all these different things. I needed this amount of time to do it. I was fearful. Once I put that fear out of my body, out of my spirit, I was able to excel at such a higher level. And I'm assisting so many other people build wealth and legacy and helping them get rid of their fear. But the first thing I had to do was get rid of my own. So get rid of fear. Get rid of it. It's okay to have some, be a little nervous, have some butterflies, some bubbles, but that's okay. And that's where it comes back to network. Your network is your net worth, and we got you.
Right. I mean, success lies outside of your comfort zone. So you're going to be uncomfortable. You just have to be uncomfortable and do it anyway. And eventually you'll be comfortable. And then that means once you're comfortable, it means to try to do something else.
A little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Time to grow a little bit more.
I try to keep myself uncomfortable, and that's what you got to do. See, that's abnormal for regular people. Right.
Yes.
And because success leaves clues. So hopefully as you hear this, you're one, if you hear her story, what you should be noticing is what I call the thread of success in her fabric of life. Right. So she's, has a background, self-employment, has employment of a good government job, but always still wanted more. But even with the government, she excelled to become the top of that thing. Right. Right. See, and because winners win. Okay.
That's so true. You can't hide it.
You can't hide it. Winners win. And so, how you do, what is it? How you do anything is how you do everything.
Everything.
whatever you're doing, you need to try to excel. It doesn't matter that, okay, well, I'll work hard, they pay me more. You will never make any money, right?
Yep.
Because you have to become excellence has to be who you are. No matter what, I don't care if you're working at McDonald's, excellence, because you should work to learn, not work for money, because you're not going to see it. So she was going around looking at stuff, but that was building her eyes so that she can spot opportunities,
Yeah.
right? And so, because you don't see them if you don't know what you're looking for, and they're right there in front of you, acres of diamonds, but you don't see it because you don't know what you're looking for. You don't
It
know
could be tapping you on the shoulder, and
right?
you'll be brushing it off,
right? Because it's disguised as work. All right.
yeah.
So, and well, I don't want to work. I'm busy. I just want my good job and sit in front of a computer screen.
Yep.
Okay, you do that, right? So we want to be rich up in here. All right. So this is the Practical Wealth Show is designed for you to, Camille, we call it getting to a position. We call it in our system being a cash flow nair.
Okay.
And so we have our own membership site called Money for Life. And the goal is to be a cash flow nair. And a cash flow nair is passive income twice your expenses, or getting to a position of what we call FU. So we want to get you to the FU position.
Exactly.
I have a newsletter. Well, we spell it out in the newsletter. I'm going to be nice on the air. So, but listen, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your knowledge. First of many, because I can see we got different. I always thought of 3 different topics we could do later. And
absolutely, just let me know.
Yeah. So I appreciate you. So guys, I want you to go follow her on all. I'm going to put her. Listen to it again. Make sure you replay the part where she gives out her social media, all her contact stuff, the memberships, all that stuff. We're going to put it in the show notes, and go out there, flush the fear, and take action.
Take action. One other thing I want to add for just the betterment of the group. I also come into the community and I teach young people and returning citizens about building wealth, the trades, real estate, everything underneath the sun under our umbrella of just becoming better and being a large product of change in our community.
A changed viewpoint can change your life, right? So if you come back and you don't have a skill, you're going back. Because you got to change the day after. Because I've done a little bit of that work too. You got to change your environment, and then money is a result of creating value in the marketplace. So you have to have a skill that you can trade for money.
Here you go.
Right. Lil, I did an interview a couple of weeks ago on this guy. It's a book called Blue Collar, and people are lunching on the trades. People think the only way through success is through college. There's so many ways you can make money, and matter of fact, you make more money because supply and demand is higher in ADHC and carpentry and whatever and welding, because nobody does it because everybody wants to be pretty, right? You need to make some money, and then you can be pretty when you clean up real nice. Right.
Real nice.
Money. So anyway, all right. So listen, all right, this is the third close. We're going.
All right, this for real now, because I gotta get out of it because I gotta get to one of these schools to go teach.
Yeah, there you go. So thank you so much for being our guest on the Practical Wealth Show. And guys, go out there and make it a prosperous day. And we will talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Thanks, everyone.